is up, everyone, and welcome back to the Rep Talk podcast. Here is episode 5, and we are here for special guest Antonio Lagana, who's an equipped powerlifter.
How you
In
doing?
today's episode, we will be talking about his equipped powerlifting journey and equipped powerlifting in general. All right, Antonio, introduce yourself to the guests.
Uh, how you guys doing? I'm Antonio. I go to Sacred Heart. I'm a senior, finance marketing major, and I've been powerlifting for around 3 years. So yeah,
Same
glad
amount
to
of
glad to
time
have
as
me, Aiden.
glad to have you, Antonio. But yeah, I mean, how did you get involved in powerlifting, and what drew you to equip powerlifting specifically?
Yeah. So freshman year of college, obviously we're in Connecticut, and there's not much to do here besides working out, hanging out with your buddies, and playing sports. So I started like everyone else started, and Bobby V's with my buddies, obviously you, Dan, Brendan, Abu, and a couple other our buddies from Merton and Seton. And yeah, like I walked into the gym, never really lifted before that. Obviously, went to the YMCA like when I was like 16, did cardio and like arms, like the bro stuff, but never really did any like benching or squatting, deadlifting or anything like that, except like a trap bar. But yeah, so I walked in, benched like 185. I was like 240 body weight at the time. That sucks. And then my buddy JT has been powerlifting like our whole lives, and he's my neighbor, lives down the street from me, has a cool garage, the Pit in New York. So he always tried to get me into it, but never really was into it. And then that summer, he put me in this blue suit contraption thing, and I obviously had no idea what it was. It was a big like it felt like a singlet, like didn't really I don't know what it was. And he's like, "Oh, we're gonna squat and we're gonna deadlift in it," and I'm like, "All right, sure." So I started using that, and we would do like dynamic effort squats and deadlifts with like chains and bands, and we would do speed work. And that's kind of where it all started. But I didn't after that summer. I stopped using the gear equipment and just went raw for like a solid year. Built my raw base up, competed a few times raw, and then got approached by Mike Skiba at Hellbent Barbell, and got into some briefs, got into a suit, and the rest was history. But it's a little introduction on the story, I guess. But ask me away.
Yeah, but also to follow up on that question, did you ever picture yourself like lifting equipped and like lifting all that weight and equipped like when you first started going to the gym?
Yeah.
You
So
did?
no, like I
No?
always said. So after I got rid of that blue big suit, I said I'm never using one of these things again. I said it's stupid. I don't like it. And I was just a raw guy. I would go to Iron Volt. I would go to the school gym, lift raw. I trained at this gym, Rhino Strong in Mayapack, only raw. Um, did 2 meets in like 3 months in wraps, raw and with wraps. Was never a big fan of like squatting fully raw and like knee sleeves because my knees don't like it. Um, but yeah, never thought I would do it. I always said like that summer, I said I would never do it. Like when I was peak raw strength, I said I would never touch any of this stuff. I don't like it. I said there's no point of it. But obviously my views on it drastically changed.
No, yeah, but for those who may not know, can you explain the difference between like equipped lifting and raw lifting?
Yeah, got it. So raw lifting is a belt, knee sleeves, and then there's like a division of raw with wraps. And then there's raw classic, which is like no sleeves, just belt. And then there's multiply, which is equipment, multiple layers of equipment. Then there's single ply, which is one layer of equipment. And then there's unlimited, which is unlimited everything. You could maybe wear a life jacket to bench, who knows. Um, but I do multiply. But I'm not in like crazy equipment. I'm in all like loose 2-ply stuff. Nothing crazy like some of the other people I know who are in some pretty crazy equipment. I get mine on and off pretty easily. But yeah, the difference is you're utilizing equipment to one helps you keeps you safe. It utilizes different muscles like a pair of briefs. The pair of briefs go underneath your suit, and it's just it helps you utilize your hips and hamstrings more when you squat. You can go wider. It lets you sit back so you can kind of use a little bit more hamstrings, glutes, and stuff like that. Which raw, it's a little bit difficult to go in a wide stance and lift. Which is like when I'm raw, I go close stance, more quads, obviously. But yeah, the equipment's just another animal. It's just you have to get strong, just like you're getting strong raw. You need to get strong in the equipment. Like when I started and equipped, I was lifting the same numbers raw. Like I was squatting the same number raw than I was in briefs. To me, it didn't do nothing. Same thing with the shirt. I was benching high threes raw and high threes in the shirt. And deadlift, I don't think it does anything because I could deadlift the same raw or in a suit. Um, but I'm not experienced enough in the gear to really like learn how to use it for the deadlift as much. Um, but yeah, it takes time. Just like getting strong in wraps or knee sleeves or a belt, you got to get strong in the gear. So, like your back, let's give an example. Like you can put the suit on and not not squat anything more than raw because you still like your back needs to be strong enough to hold the weight on your back.
No,
Your
yeah.
hamstrings and quads and glutes and abs, everything needs to be strong enough to be able to squat. Let's 800 pounds. Like at the end of the day, you're squatting 800 pounds, regardless of the equipment you're wearing. You're still squatting 800 pounds, and it's very fatiguing. And just the pick alone, like the back strength, the hamstring strength, the abdominal strength you need to be able to hold that weight on your back. It takes time. Like I didn't just put the gear on and squat 800 pounds or bench 600 pounds or whatever. Like it took a long time for me to get stronger in the equipment and everything else to get stronger with it. Like my back, my triceps, everything took more time to get stronger, but it gets stronger faster because obviously you're overloading in the gear. So you're going to get stronger faster, like those different muscles. So it's pretty cool.
No, yeah. Funny you say the knee sleeves and belt because if you recall, when I went from 315 to 405, when I put knee sleeves and belt on,
Mhm.
that was like just like I put them on, it just like shoots up the weight.
Yeah.
With equipped, I would
So
have thought that it would have went up the weight. Like you put the suit on, like you get an extra like
yeah,
couple 100 pounds in the squat.
I mean, you definitely get a boost, but just like the everything, it's like this. It's like you can't squat 300 pounds, put a suit on, and squat 700 pounds. Like your back
Yeah.
is strong enough. You're a 300-pound squatter, so like your back can't handle 700 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like I was always strong raw. Like I was a mid 500-pound squatter raw. I was close to being like a 400-pound raw bencher, pulling over five. And I was always overloading raw with like reverse bands or chains. So I was used to having, high five, 600 pounds on my back raw. So going in the suit, I was already used to heavy weight. Um, so I've taken, close to 800 pounds at the top or even straight weight in pretty much nothing. Like just wraps, maybe a pair of briefs, like no suit. Like you need to be strong, raw, or in as minimal equipment as possible to be a good equipped lifter. And not that many people understand that. Like I know a lot of people who can bench high threes and maybe bench 20 pounds more in a shirt. Um, Same thing with the squat. Same thing with the deadlift. It's all. There's no specific carryover per se that you get. I think it all just depends on the person. Like, do I think you would do great in multiply? I think you do great because you're strong. But if you put a regular 405 squatter in the gym, a random person who's not that strong in every other lift, you know, they might collapse. Like they can their body might just not be strong enough to lift the weight. Because I failed many lifts like in the bottom. Like you would expect like, oh, like it gets heavy. It gets heavy real fast,
Oh,
that type of
definitely.
weight. And like and it's just something you got to get used to. You got to get used to pressure and like the bottom. You got to get used to obviously the mental curve of, oh, let me put 1,000 pounds on my back. Like I've had 1,000 pounds on my back a few times, and it's like it's pretty like mentally it's pretty tough because it's like that type of weight on your back can like it could like kill you. And thank God I go to a great gym, Hellbent Barbell, that has some of the strongest people in the world who can spot that type of weight and keep me safe. But yeah, it's all of it is a learning curve. Like, you know, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. Like equipped lifters, it could take 10 years to master it. You know what I'm saying? Like raw, it's like, yeah, you put on a pair of knee sleeves, you put on your belt, and you squat, right? There's no like, not that there's not, obviously you need to learn technique and whatnot, but in the gear, it's just a whole nother thing because it's such a technical lift, you know? And raw lifting is very technical as well. But multiply what equipped lifting is so technical where you can hit a lift, like you can. I've had times where I've squatted 800 pounds in the gym and failed it, and then I've had times where I've squatted 800 and made it look like a plate. So it's all really like very very technical, and a lot can go wrong very fast. But
Yes, a
that's
lot
something
can
I'm
go
still learning.
wrong very fast, but a few weeks ago you went to a meet and we saw what happened about a lot can go wrong very fast. It was really bad.
Yeah, I mean, a lot can go wrong very very fast. Unfortunately, I didn't do what was planned at that meet. I was planning on squatting 900, but unfortunately on my opener I had a little mishap and got flattened under the bar. It happens. It's
Yeah.
happened to everybody. It's part of the sport. You're gonna have ups and downs, but that didn't discourage me. I'm gonna be back. Thank God, no injuries, no nothing. Just a bruised ego, I guess. But yeah, I'll be back and hopefully break some records next year. But till then, I'm just training raw, just having fun, just trying to kind of recomp a little bit, bodybuilding wise, and just trying to get a little stronger in different areas that might be a little weaker. And then we'll get back in the equipment and see what happens. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, talking about training, I mean, can you walk us through like a typical week for you when you were training equipped? I mean, it has to be different than training raw because you have to like do all this strength stuff and it takes a toll on your body. So tell me like your typical week.
okay. Well, my raw training and equip training is actually the same. I just if I'm like when I'm raw, I utilize the same workouts and same uh whatnot. But when I'm equipped, I'll talk to you. We'll go through a week of equipped training at Hellbent Barbell where we use conjugate training. So first we'll do on Tuesday we'll do a raw volume bench day, which we'll do everything is 3 week waves. And we actually train raw more than we are in the gear because obviously the stronger you are raw, the better you'll be in the gear once you master the technique of the gear. So we'll do like we'll start with like an 8x8 week 1, and then we'll do a 6x6 week 2, and then we'll do a 5x5 week 3, and it'll be like 70% of your raw max. So I'll do like 300 for like I'll do like 275 or 285 for an 8x8, and then 300, and then I'll cap out at like 305 or 310 week 3. Just raw, nothing hard, everything very easy, just for like bodybuilding work. Why is this? And then Wednesday. Oh, Aiden, sorry, this camera's old. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you turn the camera to the side. I think it worked last time.
Jesus. Okay. Um. Oh my god. Okay. And then Wednesday will be like a dynamic effort training, which we'll do box squats in briefs. We'll do like with chains. So we'll do like a 3 week way, like 120, 160, 200 chain, either raw or in briefs. And we'll do like fives, threes, and then twos. Boom, deload in week 4. And then we'll do our max effort pulls. Um, we'll do max effort pulls after dynamic squats on Wednesday, which will be usually a brief deadlift, or we'll do like raw conventional volume. And then Friday is max effort bench day, which will be in the shirt. So I'll usually work up to like 3 plates, 3/4, 350 range raw. I'll put the shirt on, take 4, 4/4, 5, 5/4, whatever variation we're doing. And then we'll do like a bodybuilding style workout after that. Saturday's off, and then Sunday is max effort squats, which is always in briefs, usually a box. When we're not in prep, we don't use the suit at all. Like there'll be times where maybe we're not in the suit for like 6 months. We'll just use briefs, or we'll go raw. Or usually we'll do like a max raw double, and then we'll put the briefs on, and then maybe put some wraps on. Just to keep the body happy, like build, keep the CNS, happy. And yeah, that's pretty much a week of training. And yes, it's very tiring, very fatiguing. Like I've had times where I've taken, had 1,000 pounds plus on my back, and I've came back and slept for like 18 hours. You know, like just because my whole face will be bloodshot red, my eyes will be all bloody, and I'll just be out of it for like a few days. You know,
No,
and
yeah. No.
um, and yeah, it's pretty taxing on the body. Like sometimes on a Monday, if you have an exam on Monday, and you're squatting heavy on Sunday, sometimes it's a little difficult to study or even focus.
No, yeah, but talking about the physical approach you just mentioned, we talked about the physical approach to it and how it could be physically tolling, but tell me about the mental approach to it. I mean, does it change when you like are doing raw or like equipped, and does it provide you more confidence or just adds more pressure to you mentally?
I would say mentally, it adds a lot more pressure. Obviously, I train at a gym where we have people who can squat 1,200 pounds. We have females who are top 10 all time raw, top 10 all time multiply. Um, so it's obviously it's a lot of pressure because I there's guys in our gym who can squat 500 pounds more than I can. So obviously it's a lot. It's a big competition aspect on a Sunday or on a max effort day that you want to like keep up with everyone. And I think that's probably the most to get over that mentally. It's like you might not be stronger than everyone, and you probably won't be, but you do your best and keep showing up, and maybe one day you'll get better than them. But yeah, there's a lot of pressure. I would say raw or in the gear, I'd say it's the same in terms of my approach going under the bar. Like I'll go under one plate the same way as going under 8 plates. You know, regardless if I'm raw, if I'm in the gear, it's still weight on your back. You're still lifting it, and you just need to go under. Like, yeah, I could do it. Like, no problem. And if you go under the weight, being like, oh, that's 1,000 pounds, like that's a lot of weight. That's like a car on my back. It's like, yeah, you might get scared, and you might get in your head, and then you might feel the lift, or get hurt, or get someone else hurt. So getting over that mental aspect of the weight on the bar is probably the most important thing, and I still haven't gotten over it. Like when I'm under, 800 pounds, it's pretty scary. Really scary thing, actually.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Um, yeah.
from what I've like gathered, this is something that really takes a toll on your body. I mean, can you tell me like what your recovery like strategy is like to keep you in shape and like actually do this like on a like consistent basis of your training week?
Yeah. So when I'm in prep for a competition or just in general training for multiply, I'm eating a lot of food, keeping my protein really high. Definitely, I utilize more. Like my meals would be like during last prep, I was eating like 5 eggs for breakfast, like a couple pieces of toast and some bacon every morning. And then I would have like 3 ground beef meals with rice. And then I would always have some type of like not as good meal, like maybe some pizza or something bad, like a bad food wise, or like McDonald's just to keep my weight on. And yeah, it was hard. Getting over having to eat all that food sucks. But the amount of calories you're burning lifting such heavy weights is insane. Like I can feel like it feels like a car is like imagine like when a car is about to go out of gas and the car just shuts off. Like you'll feel that when you're lifting that type of weight if you're not keeping yourself hydrated or fed enough. So that's very important. Um, and obviously right now I'm not training multiply. I'm just training raw and I'm just doing like bodybuilding stuff. So I'm not eating as much as I would, but which is nice. Um, but yeah, it's like you got to sleep, you got to hydrate. I go through a lot of liquid IVs, a lot of LMTs, um, a lot of food, a lot of sleeping, a lot of hot showers when I'm in pain after a big squat. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much all I do for recovery, I guess. I sit in the sauna sometimes and I go for walks, just pump as much blood in the muscles as possible to recover. But otherwise than that, it's really it.
No, yeah, but talking about like lifting all that heavy weight, I mean, what is your PRs on each of these lifts, like squat, bench, and deadlift, in
So
equipped and raw? Let's just
yeah.
talk both.
So I wouldn't even know where my raw maxes are because I've been in the gear for almost 2 years now. Um, but my equipped lifts in a meet are 800 squat. I benched 575 and I pulled 530. And then in the gym, I squatted 870. I pulled 550 and I benched 600, 605 in the gym. And then raw, I wouldn't even know where my raw is at the moment. I know before I got into the gear 2 years ago, I was squatting like 500. I was benching close to four and pulling like low fives, but that was so long ago, and I was like 220 pounds then. So I would say, who knows right now? I am doing a raw meet soon in like I think September range, and we're trying to get squat close to seven, bench four, and at least pull something nice. Anything closer to six would be nice.
That'd be
But
amazing.
uh, but yeah, I haven't. That like raw is just so foreign to me because it's like I don't train it, so I wouldn't even know uh how much in terms of raw. But it's very important to train raw now just to help build a base. But I would like to squat over seven raw. Be kind of cool. I definitely am strong enough to do it. I've been benching. I started benching raw again a couple weeks ago. I did, and I'm just doing like two board stuff because I hurt my pec a little bit. So I'm just doing a couple things like low fours. Nothing crazy right now. Um, and then deadlift. I haven't deadlifted in weeks. I don't care about deadlifting at the moment. But
Same here.
yeah, yeah. But yeah. So hopefully in the next couple months we get the raw strength back up. I know I'm strong enough. Like I said, I've taken well over 700 pounds and pretty much nothing. So it'd be cool to see what I could do in a meet. Obviously, whatever happens in the gym to me doesn't count. Whatever happens in the meet is what I count for.
No,
But
yeah.
yeah, it's a whole different animal. Just like training multiply and being weak in multiply, and then now I'm less weak in multiply. We'll do the same thing with raw. I'll just have to keep training and see what happens. But my goal is to squat 1,000 equipped. 1,016 is the world record in the juniors. So I would like to get that in the next year and a half. Get my first record under my belt. Um, so that'd be kind of cool. But because I think only my buddy JT. There's not been many people in the juniors to squat over 1,000. It's only a handful of people. So that's a pretty big accomplishment, and that's the goal. I know I could. I know I would have been close last meet. I mean, I was taking over 1,050 at the top every week, pick weight and smoking it. So it's just a matter of time. Got to get a little bit bigger eventually, but till then, I'm just gonna cool it, cut a little bit for a little while, and then we'll tackle it next year. Obviously, it's pretty hard to uh, the nutrition and the recovery when you're in college, obviously,
Oh,
but
definitely.
you know,
On the topic of meets, though, I mean, can you share a memorable moment from a competition when you were in the gear?
yeah. I would say my first meet in the gear, I opened up with 800 at my first meet, and everyone I knew was there. Everyone from Hellbent, all the gyms I know, and I missed it. I couldn't unrack it. I fell back. I couldn't. I thought I was done, and I was like, I pretty much gave up. I was like, I'm just not strong enough. And 10 minutes later, on my second attempt, I took it and smoked it like an empty bar. And just getting over that it was pretty difficult. And then I'm on Zoom. Sorry. And yeah, that was a pretty memorable moment, hitting my first 800 pounds in a meet with everyone I know. My brother was there, and it was a pretty cool moment. So hopefully I can have more of those moments one day. But till then, I just want to build, and the building part is probably the most important part. The meets will come, but the building's the hardest part.
Gotta build first so you could actually lift heavy in those meets.
Yep.
But let's end off the interview by asking what advice would you give to someone who just started out in equipped powerlifting, and what should they focus on before adding equipment to their training?
Yeah. So I think the most important aspect of starting out in powerlifting, and if you have no idea what powerlifting is, or you want to get into equipped and you've never powerlifted, I think it's pretty important to start raw for a while, like a year, year and a half, 2 years raw, and build up the tendons and the muscles, and utilize overloads in training, like reverse bands or a slingshot to overload the tendons. Because at the end of the day, it's like benching 600 pounds is a lot in your wrist, in your forearms, in your elbows. Just like having 800 pounds on your back, it's like you can't just start out with that. The muscles need to get strong. So I would say the best thing to do is find a good coach. Watch a lot of like conjugate style videos, maybe West Side versus the World, and talk to everyone. Literally everyone. Like you can DM anyone, anyone from Hellbent Barbell, anyone from any of these multiply gyms, and anyone will answer your questions. But yeah, I think starting raw first, building a strong raw base is very important, and then get into the gear with a good coaching and in person. Like you can't just get in multiply by yourself. Like, you need a good coach, you need a good crew, you need good equipment, and you need to be able to take criticism. Like it took me a long, long time to figure this stuff out. I still have no idea what I'm doing, but more I know what I'm doing. So I would say just utilize as many people as you can, learn from everyone, and just be a sponge. Obviously, this stuff's hard, and you're gonna fail. You're gonna maybe get hurt. You're gonna do bad at a meet, and you can't let that be the deciding factor of if you're gonna stop or not. Like I could easily give up. I could have easily given up after that meet 4 weeks ago, but I'm not. So I would say just have a good mindset, be a sponge, and then go to that gym and help everyone load plates, watch everyone's form. Like you got to just be a sponge, and and it'll work out. And it's great. It keeps me busy. It's like I love talking to everyone, and we go to dinners and lunches and stuff, and just hang out and talk the talk, and you learn. And obviously, we're young enough where I'm considered a kid at my gym, but hopefully one day I surpass them, and that'd be kind of cool. But till then, I'm going to continue being a sponge.
That would be very cool. I mean, you start at a young age. I mean, maybe one day when you get to like your 30s, 40s, 50s, I mean,
Yeah,
maybe you surpass them one day. That'd be great. I mean, you
that's
start at a young age. Not
mhm.
many people start in equipment this young because,
Nope.
like, I don't think it's a
Nope.
really well-known thing, equip lifting.
It Equip lifting is really big in the Midwest and in Texas. And actually, equip lifting, there was no such thing as raw lifting before like 2007. Like before 2007, it was only equipped. There was no raw meets. Every meet was multiply. Every meet was in the gear. There was no such thing as, oh, you go to a meet and lift in sleeves. Like that wasn't a thing. Raw lifting became a big thing like 2010 range and beyond. Um, do I think multiply is kind of dying? Yes, but I think especially in Connecticut, New York, the Midwest, Texas is huge. Like Texas is all equip lifting. Um, I think it's getting a lot bigger. The fan base behind it's getting bigger. There's more people my age and even younger, 15, 16-year olds getting to multiply. So hopefully the sport grows more, and people get more understanding and knowledgeable of it. Um, and yeah, it grows. Just like raw lifting or anything. At the end of the day, all this is a hobby. You got to enjoy what you do. You got to love what you do, and you got to preach what you do. I'm not claiming I'm the most knowledgeable on this. Definitely not. But I've gone through this for 2 years and experienced a lot, and I think I've had more fun training equip lifting than I ever did training raw, and that's why I continue to do it because it's just you got to have a hobby, just like golfing or whatnot. Like this is my golfing, so it's pretty cool. Hopefully, I get you into it one day.
Maybe. I mean, I first gotta work on all my other maxes because
Yeah, no, that's
I just
of
gotta get
course.
through some mental slumps. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, that's all for today, guys. We talked about quick lifting, and thank you so much, Antonio, for coming on. This
you're
is
welcome,
Rep
Aiden.
Talk, episode 5, logging off. This is Aiden McLaughlin. Peace.